Well, good morning and thanks for joining us here for our 8:30 Streamy Show. It is Friday, July 10th. I'm Mitch Carter. Of course, our big weather story here on alert here again, once again today and tomorrow. But before we get to Byron Douglas, I have a couple of headlines for you here from your Friday morning. Starting off, learning some more now about the investigation into a deadly shooting here in Evansville. Happened on Tuesday afternoon after 4 o'clock on Edgar Street. Evansville police say there was a fight between two men, and they say the victim who died, Anthony Burris, pepper sprayed the man investigators believe killed him. And right now, no charges have been filed against that man, but officials say that will be up to the prosecutor.
Anytime we work one of these major cases, we contact an on-call deputy prosecutor to get legal advice. Like, are we on the right path? Are these charges applicable? And they also assist with like the warrant process. So when we apply for a warrant, they help us out with that. They said, well, let's go ahead and get all the facts. Let's get all the information, all the evidence, put it together, submit it as a case file to the prosecutor's office, and then they will ultimately determine, are we going to issue charges or not?
The police say the person who shot Burris was cooperative and gave a statement to police following the incident. But again, at this time, no charges have been filed. And in Illinois, State Police sharing more details now about a double murder investigation in Olney that happened on Tuesday afternoon on East Monroe Street. Still learning, officers found the victims 52-year-old John Jones Jr. and 73-year-old Deborah Jones dead at two separate homes. Troopers say John was hit in the head with a sharp-edged instrument while Deborah was stabbed with a knife. 25-year-old Dylan Jones, meanwhile, is now in the Richland County Jail facing 6 counts of first-degree murder. And a social media post from an Evansville attorney is accusing Gibson County law enforcement of negligence. It comes 1 week after a jury found that Patrick Waite acted in self-defense when he shot members of his wife's family, the Tapia family, killing 3 and seriously hurting another. Waite's attorney says even though they got the verdict they were hoping for, the battle is far from over. Emma Beck spoke with Waite's attorney, who claims criminal acts by the Tapia family have gone ignored. Take a listen here.
It's been 1 week since Patrick Waite was found innocent, but his attorney, Scott Danks, says he's not living life like a free man.
Mr. Waite, we believe his life is in danger. There's been threats made. We've heard through the grapevine. And so he's in hiding. He's out of state.
Danks says Gibson County law enforcement has done nothing to put an end to ongoing criminal activity by the Tapia family.
We have a family that consists of criminals. They were committing the crimes against Mr. Waite leading up to the incident where he had to exercise self-defense. And then after that, they continue to commit various crimes. They've all been reported to law enforcement. Law enforcement's doing nothing about it.
According to testimony in court last week, the Tapia family has an extensive criminal history, including drug dealing, gang violence, and theft of multiple items belonging to Waite. Danks says they even made purchases on Waite's cards while he was in jail.
It's just a blatant disregard for the law. And that's what makes these people so dangerous. Mr. Waite's family members, his adult children that have reached out to law enforcement on multiple occasions, they won't even take a report on it.
Danks says one of Waite's cars was stolen by the Tapias and is still being driven around the county. He says it was even driven to the courthouse during the trial.
The civil court judge months ago, and I don't recall the date, but months ago, he ordered that the vehicles immediately be returned to Mr. Waite's house. They never have been. They just ignore court orders, they ignore the law, and that's what makes them particularly dangerous in my mind.
Danks says he doesn't want to have to take legal action or see people sent to jail. He really just wants them to turn a new leaf.
Just start being good people, and stop violating the law. Just such a huge tragedy that they've suffered, and there's no question about that. But they got to stop breaking the law.
14 News spoke with a member of the Tapia family who said they're tired of defending their family members after losing 3 of them. They say they disagree with a lot of the accusations being made, and the Gibson County attorney says the sheriff, quote, generally denies Danks' allegations. And meanwhile, in Posey County now, on Thursday night, dozens of people attended the Area Planning Commission's meeting to hear discussion on a data center that's potentially being added in the county. During that meeting, the committee discussed the data center and the ordinances they're putting in place to prepare for it, and several people came forward to ask questions about those ordinances and how they can prevent any data center coming to the county in the first place.
I really just hope that they understand that we're trying to take their concerns into our ordinance as we move forward in the process.
The committee will be revising rough drafts for the ordinances and will have a special meeting about it in a couple of months. And to Warwick County now, with a similar public hearing on proposed data center ordinance is set for next week here. Got a graphic coming up on your screen. That hearing happens on Monday night at 6 on the 3rd floor of the Boonville Courthouse. Area Plan Commission officials say that a group of community members have spent hours studying data centers to prepare Warwick County with a draft ordinance if a data center were to try and locate there. Any action taken by the Planning Commission will then go to a recommendation by the County Commission. And meanwhile, to our south in Hancock County, we're learning more and more about their new data center set to take over the Hawesville Century Aluminum Building. As we told you earlier this week, infrastructure company TeraWulf announced a 20-year lease agreement with AI company Anthropic. Officials with TeraWulf answered some of the questions we've had over the project. The company's saying they'll be hiring for 100+ jobs, and they intend to hire locally and regionally. Officials there also laid out a plan to address environmental concerns that are brought up with data centers, and you can read their full response right now on 14news.com. And meanwhile, back here in Evansville, city officials announced an initiative to power over a dozen municipal energy facilities and solar energy. 14 News' Gabe Pontonis spoke with Evansville Mayor Stephanie Terry to learn more about the new project. Let me see if we have that pulled up. It looks like we might have missed that one getting this set up in the stream show, so we'll trust that Gabe did that story. You can, of course, watch that one online at 14news.com. And also an important note with that story in particular, Mayor Terry and officials there with the panel that they had yesterday say it will be going in soon and it will get the city one step closer to becoming 100% renewable. Like I mentioned there, Gabe Pontonis, great story yesterday talking about renewable energy here in Evansville, which you can watch online at 14news.com, but not here because I'm pretty sure I forgot to put it in. My bad. Right now it's 8:37 though here on your Friday, July 10th. Like I mentioned, big weather toss right now. It is still on alert for today and tomorrow. That flooding threat's still around. We saw some rain this morning. Kind of continuing throughout the weekend, but stick around. Up next is 14 First Alert meteorologist Byron Douglas breaking down what it means for you at home and what your weekend will look like. For those joining us though this morning, we really appreciate you. Have a great day, and we'll see you back here bright and early on Monday. Take care.
Informed on your local news and weather throughout the day by watching the 14 First Alert streaming shows. At 8:30 a.m., get your First Alert forecast to plan the day ahead and catch up on the news that happened overnight with the 14 News Sunrise team. In the afternoon, get the latest headlines, forecasts, and a preview of the stories we're working on with the 14 First Alert streaming show at 2:30. And get an in-depth look at the 14 First Alert forecast so you're ready for the next big thing with the 14 First Alert weather show at 9 p.m. Watch the 14 First Alert streaming show that fits your schedule and works best for you. Streaming on your phone by downloading the 14 News app and the 14 First Alert weather app. On your smart TV by using the 14 News streaming app. And stream anytime on Facebook, YouTube, or on 14news.com. Stay connected and stay informed by watching the 14 First Alert streaming shows on your favorite streaming devices.
All right, good Friday morning. I'm meteorologist Byron Douglas. Hope everyone's having a great day. We'll bring you up to date on the alert day. We were in extra early this morning. I think the last lightning on Doppler across the area was about 4 o'clock this morning down in the Madisonville area and then into Muhlenberg County. Was not associated with any severe thunderstorms. We've had no flash flood warnings. In fact, at the airport yesterday, we had no recorded rainfall. We had 1100s here at the station. Some areas have had 1 up to 2 inches of rain in the last 24 hours. So the alert day will correspond with the flood watch, which will end generally on Saturday morning. And all the flash flood warnings have been outside of the viewing area. The areas that are highlighted in blue. And let's take a look at these storm threats. They have moved. That we talked about this when we concluded 14 News Sunrise. We'll take this full. In fact, I'm going to grab this full for a second, and we'll say good morning to some folks. We do have a level 2 slight risk covering our areas, kind of along Highway 45. Get into Gallatin County, Carmi to Enfield, and then you get out towards Wayne City and Sims there, southwestern stretches there of Wayne County, Illinois, south and west there to about the airport there in Fairfield. And everyone else a level 1 threat. We'll take a look at those threat markers. Generally, officially, we're not looking at widespread severe weather. It did clip sections in there of western stretches there of Wayne County in a tornado threat there. But otherwise, we have this damaging wind threat across the area. And I think generally would set up very late this afternoon and tonight. Some easing to the jet stream winds right now, and I think the morning round will ease just a bit. And all the active warnings, which we'll inspect in a moment, have been to our south and west. Now, we do have, the alert day is still in place. Scattered flooding issues are possible during that time frame, especially later today. And then as we go into Saturday, we do have these threats that have set up flash flooding, generally areas south of Interstate 64. This is the flooding part of the equation, and not much of a threat as we go into Sunday. So we'll kind of hold the alert day when the flood watch ends Saturday night. All right, here's a look at Doppler radar. Maybe just a little lightning between Dixon and Clay there on the board towards about Wheatcroft in Webster County. Had pretty good clips of rain near Dixon early this morning. Showed a little hail on that aloft. So these showers generally, I've looked at the upper level winds are running from the northwest to the south and east. So for the most part, it's just rain, might have some embedded thunder. And here's a wide view. All the lightning is down through Tennessee. And kind of where these showers are training are generally the polygons as we work south there of Kansas City. So that line generally sets up to our south and west. So we'll monitor that. Little shortwave is going to punch out of Kansas and could get a few storms going during the heat of the day, especially if you catch a little breakout sunshine. Highs at 87. I bumped temperatures above the guidance, anticipating little sun. Showers and storms, we'll take a look at a couple of timelines for tonight. Of course, you got Aaron Tippin up at the Gibson County Fair, Friday after 5, all kinds of stuff going on. And then on Saturday, not an all-day rain by any stretch. So let's go forward hour by hour. I'm going to show a couple of solutions. This takes us to 4 or 5 o'clock, and then get some storms in here tonight. So this is an earlier solution. So if you're out, keep that 14 First Alert weather app handy. If you get some storms here at 8, 9 o'clock, by the time you check in with Jeff, you might be tracking a few severe thunderstorms or perhaps flash flood warnings. And this takes us to 9, 10 o'clock tonight, and then into the pre-dawn hours. And then on Saturday, of course, I'll be working Saturday. We'll take a look at Saturday's timeline in a moment. Now I'm going over to the graph model. So this is not showing a whole lot. This is a later solution. So I gave you the earlier one initially. This is bringing in storms late tonight, overnight into the pre-dawn hours. And then as we go through Saturday, we'll be dealing with some scattered showers and storms as we go through Saturday and then into the afternoon, a little more active during that time frame, but not widespread severe weather during that stretch. And then on Sunday, if a cutoff low enters the picture, I've upped the probability for precipitation on Sunday. So on Sunday, we could be added to a level 1 threat for severe storms, but we'll see if we've had any additions there. So nothing to really cancel your plans over. It's kind of like July where you have these rinse and repeat thunderstorms. Not an all-day rain. On Saturday, generally the severe weather threats are to our south. So areas in brown, you can catch a gusty thunderstorm. Generally south of Madisonville does clip southern stretches there of Muhlenberg County. And a similar story on Sunday. So our concern on Saturday is that flooding threat. And then on Sunday, as I mentioned, we held off on the alert day. So kind of even chances as we go to the afternoon. There's a case to be made there between about 6 p.m. and midnight. We'll have decent chances for showers and storms. I'll grab this full, say good morning to some folks. If you have to be out the door by 9, wanted to highlight the forecast for you. Amy, good morning to you. Candy. Hey, look, if you guys have rainfall reports, not everybody saw rain yesterday. That's encouraging when you have a flood watch. April, Glenn, hello to you. Diana. Justin, thank you. Eddyville, Kentucky. Yep, you got Laura, appreciate that. Down in Dawson Springs, they got hit hard down there. Jeff Miller, good morning to you. Now, they didn't have widespread severe weather, but some areas there in far western Kentucky, southeastern Missouri had 3 to 4 inches of rain. So it's set up just to our south and west. So that's the latest. I'm going to have more coming up at 11 a.m., then again at noon. We do have the dual threats, that flooding threat and a damaging wind threat, generally late this afternoon and tonight. We'll talk to you soon and have a super weekend.